Matt,
Bobby,
coming to you live from the street. We're gonna do a little street concert here. It's another tricked out Lambo. Well, actually, this one's fucking schmeezed. Driving slowly down my block. The driver looks like a cock. Said he made all his money in crypto, but he forgot to get out at the top. Now the repo man's on the next block. Anyway, Matt, I got everything working today. We got props, we got the street view. Thank you, Google.
we got Bitcoin back to where it closed yesterday.
We got
It only took 4 hours for it to go up another 40%.
Matt, here's the key though. Because in my experience in cryptology, in the crypto sphere, in crypto land, there are corrections, right? And then there's seasons. This was the crypto winter, brought to you by Athena Bitcoin, my friends in Chicago. And here's my thought, Matt, and we're going to go to the chart. You can bring it up if you want. I can talk. Is this a correction, or are we going into a season? You know, do we have another winter, another crypto winter upon us? And you know, for me, it's not clear yet, but for sure what you need to know and understand is the last time that we've gone into a crypto winter, it lasts months and months of downward and sideways to downward action, you know, 8, 12, 14 months.
Let me just say that let me start with the real close up here. And we talked about this yesterday. We're going to trade to 30,000. We got to 29.9. I don't know what else to say. It happened.
Yeah, I mean, we had 32, 29. Basically, ours was 32.
And again, I expected a bounce there, and we just got it. And guess where we went? 42. So if you got your orders in, again, 42 should be a good area to sell again. And why do I say that? Well, let's look at the big picture, Bob. Kind of to your question. This is an ugly, ugly, ugly test here, but it was also a low that we saw earlier in the year. So they had to hold the line one time here, which they usually do. Somebody came in and it literally whooshed it right back up. So somebody had a big cover right here at 615, and it started the turnaround right there. And we just traded, as I said, 42.9, almost 43,000. So it's right back to where it closed yesterday, but it's not pretty. And you know, early the market cap went from 2.5 trillion of all the pet rocks down to 1.5, probably a little lower, because when I checked,
what's $1 trillion in today's day and age?
Here and there, right? Yeah. Doge traded down to 15 cents. Wasn't there long again. And it is back to, let's just look at it here to show you, you know, you want to see some crazy volatility. It's back to 39 cents, 21 cents. I'm getting them all confused. But again, look where we're coming, right back into the balance. So a lot of work here in the last 4 hours just to get back to scratch. So by all means, if you didn't sell on the puke, sell here. You got another opportunity at a better price. You know, this thing almost doubled, 21 cents. It did double, 21 cents all the way up to 42. So there you go. It continues, Bob. The whipsaw action is real. It's in play. And that H bar that we talked about dipped down to a level not seen in a long time, 16 cents.
I didn't spend much time there either.
Again,
but
you had to have orders in. You had to have orders
for sure.
And these were levels that we were saying. So cover your short there. If you want to get long, take a stab. It's worked out both ways today. And
fractal this one out in particular a little bit more, because I'm more in the camp that we're going to have a little bit of a crypto winter here. Then this is just a bounce that's going to be, everybody will be laughing.
Here's the way I look at it. I mean, this is a daily chart. So here's where we're trading. Yeah, we traded this much lower, but that was just the first test. Now we're just back into this. Are you going to find new buyers now at these prices? You couldn't find them the last couple of weeks. So I don't see why that would change, especially with, I think there's so much news out there that's negative. Coinbase, couldn't let anybody out or in this morning.
I mean, that's one of my favorite things that I saw in the Twitter sphere was like, you got both parties fucking livid with you, right? The people that wanted to be out. Actually, a lot of those people are like, thank God I couldn't get in and sell because I can sell them better now.
Right.
But for sure, the people that wanted to buy the dip are not happy.
Yeah. So I'm having all kinds of problems bringing up a chart here at Coinbase. I can't even get the right chart to work. So anyways, it traded down to, I think, 208 and is currently sitting here around 225. So it has bounced. Everything
going to $4, Matt. Coinbase.
How much?
It's $4. I made the call, sort of like the Dogecoin. Like it was a pun more than anything, but watch it go trade $4 from 400.
It did trade down here to 209 or so, and now it's back here. But again, huge gap. It just gapped down, and it basically, is kind of filling that gap now. But you still have this hole in here from 225 to 240. These aren't pretty charts, no matter how you slice them. This is not a bullish day, even though we're off the bottom. So, and then the other thing I wanted to throw out real quickly, all assets are one. Oil got schmeezed today. It was down at one point to 62, which, recalling yesterday, we're at 67. So $5 on oil is not a small move. And that totally reversed itself here off 62, trading 63 and a half right now. But again, none of these charts are bullish. And I'm just bringing up some, real short-term charts and not looking pretty right now.
All right, Matt, let's talk a little sporting because Tigers, at least they have some semblance of baseball being played here, Matt. Now you pointed out that they took the Cubs down in a series, and now they get the no-no out of Turnbull. I love that name, by the way. I don't think there's a better baseball name than Turnbull. Spencer Turnbull threw a no-no Tuesday in Seattle, and he's obviously a good pitcher because you bet pitchers in baseball kind of like horse racing.
Yeah, and the line was plus 110, so there really wasn't a lot shocking there for him to throw a great game. A no-hitter is another thing, but only 117 pitches, Bob, is unbelievable. I don't know if you realize, you just don't see guys doing that anymore. I mean, that's when they're pulling you. Like if you're at 120, like you're maxing out. Like if that's the 5th inning or it's the 9th inning, you're done pitching. So what a game for, Spencer and the Tigers. They're still, what are they? I think they're like 12 and 30. So they're horrible, but hey, we took down the Cubs, who are horrible too.
You want to talk about winter?
Yeah.
Winter in Detroit. Matt, let's jump to pop culture. And there's a couple of things I want to point out here. First of all, Charles Grodin, for me, was one of the first just incredible deadpan, like that side of comedy. He was just brilliant at it. I watched a Letterman interview that he had, and the crowd was crying, laughing just at his deadpan stare of like, what is this guy actually feeling? I have no idea. And the other thing I want to point out here is how brutal the New York Times continues to be. Their headline, who's in charge of headlines? We got construction.
Hello, who's there?
Construction in the house. Charles Grodin, star of Beethoven and Heartbreak. And then you got CNN with Getting It Right, Midnight Run. I mean, come on, that's the movie he's famous for. The New York Mimes. This movie,
and that's the movie that really catapulted De Niro out of mob movies. exclusively and only Italian movies, and then he got to play, the comedy. So that role really propelled him. He should be thanking Charles Grodin in the mid '80s for one of the finest moves he ever made in his career.
Absolutely. I'm hot on the fucking mute on my. We got. I thought it was over. It's not over. All right, Matt. We're going to talk price discovery, and the lead in here is like we like to do. We like to bob and weave. I need to have some sharing capabilities in order to do the said bobbing and weaving.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Wow. How do you like the hat, by the way?
I like it. I had mine on because it was cold again this morning. I mean, again, we went from 85 to a high of 55. It was about 35 this morning. Chilly.
All right, Matt. In pop culture, Kim Kardashian reaching out to the folks everywhere. Yes. On which pair of shoes should she be wearing? Do you like?
No, not just shoes. The tallest stilettos, like you can imagine. Apparently, she was looking at like some 6 or 9 inch stripper stilettos. Apparently.
Well, these ones don't look quite that big.
Those don't, but she's asking which ones people like. I don't know.
For me, Matt, my fashion says you got to go with the dark ones because it ties in the darkness of the.
She didn't tell us what dress she was wearing. Maybe she's wearing that patterned animal pattern thing over there.
And she's got the Fisher Price
purse?
Toolbox purse, which is nice. She's got her. I'm sure she's got her paraphernalia in there, plug-in devices and things that you would find. I don't know, Matt. The reason why we talk about it because, hold on. This was an article from a while ago, and you told me about this. I had no idea that Kanye was on the Gap's board. Talk about a guy that has parlayed his musical success, right? He got the first non-athlete to sport Nike, right? To get a Nike shoe contract.
And then, first he did a deal with Adidas, and then he got offered more money from Nike to represent him, and then the reason why he's worth his billions now is obviously smart marriage to Kim, where he learned a little bit about fashionista-ism. So I think it's been a good move for him, and I'd love to take a look at the Gap chart, see what you think first, and then we can kind of take a look at mine.
Hold on a second here. Gap, I got that. First, there's the Bitcoin schmeezing on the 3-day. Now, while I have this up, let me just show this.
Yep.
Because we had this little, hold on a second. It kind of came off here's 17, 18, and then just fucking dead sideways, right? Till April of 19. You start up again into July of 19, making these highs. And then again, man, just sideways till September of October of 20. And now this giant run, and let's talk nuance, drink, while we're on the Bitcoin chart. Even if this thing settles out and keeps trading lower, I fully expect it to go trade 20,000, at least the previous high, right? And over the next 10, 12, 14 months, this thing just schmeezes down here and then trades sideways. If we could
I don't think the fall to 20,000 and then 10,000 is going to take that long. But then the rollout, to your point, is going to take a long time. This is what happens. And as we lead into talking about Gap next, it doesn't matter what the asset class is. The parabola has a right side. We don't stay parabolic forever. So this is the lesson that we're trying to share with people. And we tried for really the last couple months to tell people that this felt like a major high was being put in with the distribution that was happening, the low volumes, et cetera. The things that we look at as traders was very evident and clear. There was major distribution. It's like insider selling. I mean, the insiders, let's say the Twinklevoss boys, they were, but again, they're already trading against you anyways, whether it's Gemini, whether it's Coinbase. Why don't you talk about that a little bit so people understand that, Bob? Because today was a perfect example with Coinbase down so much.
Well, why do you think they went down?
Right. Because, Why do I
Well,
think?
I'm being cynical and sarcastic.
Well, there was more
For sure,
sellers.
probably their systems aren't able to handle the order flow, order
Yeah, but
low.
not only could you not sell, you couldn't buy either if you wanted to buy that. Unless you had unless you had a limit order in at Coinbase, which I don't even know if you can do. Honestly, I don't think you can.
You
Can
know,
you?
back in the pit, um, the reason why you would put a market on fast, right, was to protect the brokers, because a fast market, the rules are different as far as how customers are able to litigate basically through the CME infrastructure against a broker for a fill. As a broker, you are bound, and time and sales is everything. And if they can show the time of the order stamp and the time and sales that came out of the pit, you're beholden to that time and sales. And believe me, I got fucked several times on markets that weren't on fast, and time and sales comes out and the customer says, I deserve a fill, or this is the worst price I can possibly have because of time and sales. So you put it on fast as an order filler. As soon as stuff started going bananas, you're telling the pit reporters, put this thing on fast so I get protected here. For me, the Coinbase thing is like, our book is fucking way too long. Close the fucking door so we can get out of this position before we let anybody else sell it to us.
Right.
That's me talking cynically. I have no proof of this. I have no idea if this is what happened. But this on top of the incredible amount of order flow that these exchanges are trying to deal with, and so the Merc didn't go down, right? The Bitcoin futures didn't stop trading. These are things that point a bigger picture further down the road, and why Coinbase is worth $4.
Well,
anyway, Matt, you were talking about the right side of the parabola.
yeah.
And you're right. This is a great chart, to this gap chart, which looks a little toppy to me on the 3-day. But when we look at seasons, Matt, we're going to keep talking about the season, because you go into these winters. And if I got to go to the weekly for this to really show up well,
right,
where you get, this sideways action here for months on end. Let me shrink it up a little bit, and you can see it. Sort of. I mean, look at this. For a decade almost, sideways, right? 05 to 09, 5 years. Then it made a little rally here and then stayed in this bracket for another 5 years. There's going to be a right side to this parabola too.
Yeah.
And then what does it do? I mean, this was a long schmeezing from 17 down to the COVID low was a season of down.
Yep.
We've had a season of up. Maybe we get another season of down. I don't know. Once you talk about what you think on the profile.
Yeah, again, the best move Les Wexner and the board made there at Gap was bringing on Kanye for sure, because that thing was on a death spiral to zero. It was trading $5 when when he came on board, and they paid him a ton of money, and he got super wealthy and it was like any marketing head, or there was a lot of stock involved. If he did well, if the stock did well, he'll get paid. So I'm looking at this, Bob, and 525 up here to 30. What did we hit? 37. So 7-bagger in less than a year for Kanye and the team. That's gotten him pretty. That'll help. That'll help pay some bills until he gets his palimony from Kim, since she actually still is worth more than him. So,
Matt, what I'm looking at when I look at that too is the same thread that we had with Portnoy. Like, if this is, please, he's got generational wealth.
Yeah.
Let's not kid each other.
Right.
But for God's sakes, man, this 7-bagger, if you're holding gap bags.
And straight up for 14, 15 months, right? You had one little red month, two maybe, that were basically flat. So, the last year and a half, this thing's been to the moon. And again, I've got a long-term chart here going back to 97, 98. And you can see this is the third spike. The highest was back there, in the 99s when everything was going crazy, and Gap was doing well then. But here's the point I want to make is that sold off hard, Bob. It sold off from, the high there in March of 2000, like everything. And it went from, the 40s down here to 8. And then it just found a base, to your point again. This was 2002, and then it just chopped around for 11. 2000. This is 2011, so let's call it a decade. And then it had another parabolic move that took place, and it took place about the same amount of time that this move has. It just wasn't as parabolic. It wasn't as vertical. And then it fell off and spent the last 2 to 4 years kind of doing the same thing until it fell out of bed with COVID, but it wasn't looking good before COVID. So this is the point. And then it was resurrected by Jesus, and Jesus brought it back to life. But by all means, take profits. You sure were saved by, Jesus there. And you should.
And the Fed, by the way,
Everything.
Fed's back in.
Right.
The Fed's back in the market. Back in the day in the currencies, that would be the chatter. The Fed's in, and everybody would buy dollars. The Fed's in defending.
Well, the Fed's buying khakis, and they're buying,
It seems to me the Fed's in the equities
right
at this point today.
But we bring up this theme again because it doesn't matter, Bob, whether it's Bitcoin or Gap, and I'll bring up Bitcoin now. Just looking at a weekly chart again, and I'm having all kinds of chart log issues this morning, so I apologize. So I'm not going to be able to show it. But you see the parabolic move. I'm just looking at it daily again, only going back to the middle of last summer. You start to see it pretty clearly. It's not pretty. I mean, this is not a pretty chart. And the parabolicness happened, again, from last fall until just, the last couple months. And so that plays out in a 10, 11 month period. It's tired, Bob. It couldn't, all this time it spent just trafficking, alongside here as you base. That's why we talk about, and we had talked about the brackets, and those brackets were spot on, in the shorter term charts. They pointed to where it would go, and we did it. And now it looks, again, we just bounced here to, as I said, 43. But to me, this is looking, this is nothing but a dead cat bounce here, but the whole market's bouncing today. So again, when these markets bounce, they all bounce together. Everything has gone up. Oil, again, which they all opened on the lows, basically. They washed them out, and then we went up. What, to me, you can't have, this isn't even a washout in the market. Again, once again, it's just like they take them down overnight, and then we've been in a trend all day again. The whole freaking day, and we're 4 hours in. And I said it 3 hours ago at 7:30. It's a trend day until it isn't. Well, 3 more hours added to the day. There's nothing you can do. I wouldn't be, again, it's just slowly going up. The SPOOs are at 40. What are they? 4104 last I looked.
01 last.
Yeah. So everything again just kind of opened on the lows, and then they just pinched and squeezed the whole day. And that's what we're doing right now.
Man, let me share because there's so much nuance out there about how science is science. And I just want to point out a couple of things here. This is from Science Tech Daily, Matt. A big surprise. Heavy metal vapors unexpectedly found in comets throughout our solar system. Wow, who'd have thunk that? Who'd have thunk that, Matt? Let's stay on the science thread, because China now, when do the rovers battle? China on Mars, their rover on Mars, and we're looking for the celebrity rover death match coming soon. I can't believe Dana White didn't get in on this and have them land the fucking China rover somewhere near the NASA rover and see which two of these pussy rovers is more badass. I don't know. I'm free balling today, Matt. I'm free balling.
Yeah, there's a couple more interesting, comments out of China today. I don't know if you saw the one where the senior member of the CCP.
I did see that. I read it.
And again, he's basically boasting that they've won the biological war that was on in 2020. I mean, if the stuff that Fauci's already been caught lying about, on top of China dancing on top of the victory trophy. I mean, people, you got to wake up. This stuff is happening. And then the other big, to me, another policy move by Biden reversing Trump permits a key Putin goal, a new Russian natural gas pipeline to Germany.
Dude, you know what? We brought this up.
We've talked about this
months
right?
ago. I brought up the chart of the pipeline from Russia through the Dead Sea, right, into Germany. Germany needs the gas because they want to be green, and they've decommissioned their coal plants. They need natural gas to fit in with their energy future.
Right.
And I thought we talked about that, like how fucking ambiguous is the geopolitical climate when the Keystone pipeline is bad and the Russian pipeline is bad, but Germany, like, who are our allies and who are our enemies?
Right.
I totally don't get it. I tell you what I want to do is sell some S&Ps right now. But I don't know, Matt. And back to price discovery, or back to geopolitics, why would you let that pipeline go? Why can't we just send container after container of liquefied natural gas to Germany? And you know, they're our allies. Shouldn't we be supplying them with natural gas, not Russia?
And screwing our own people?
And are the Russian, you know, is I don't know, man. That's a giant lever that you have over Germany then going forward. Oh, yeah? How about we cut off your gas and you can't produce electricity to run Dash automobile? I don't know. It's a crazy mixed up world, Matt.
It is a crazy mixed up world.
What else you want to share?
You know, Bob, I'm pretty good. Like I said, it's kind of quietly watching the market here. You know, we're more than halfway through, trying to see if we're going to just coast to coast trend day. If so, I'll probably sell the close. If we start rolling over here, which I thought we might have done by now, but we still have yet to. So I'm just kind of sitting on my hands.
You know, and I got nuance between my daily. The daily's got fully falling away potentiality. The 3-day, I love the 3-day. That one also had, and I take that back. The 3-day and the weekly haven't fully rounded these bands.
Oh, by the way,
you know, we had a reach out today, by the way, in the marketvitals.io, not .net, not .com. It's .io. Markets. We talk at marketvitals.io. Anyway, Warren reached out and said, "What is the difference between Bollinger Bands and standard deviation trading?" And I said, and I say it again, John Bollinger is the smartest man on the planet. He trademarked a 100-year-old mathematical formula. I'm going to trademark addition and subtraction. And if you do those things, you're going to have to call them Heffernans.
Call them Heffernans.
I did the Heffernan on this, and it doesn't Heffernan up. Anyway,
gold making a new high.
But Bollinger, the key here is Bollinger only, Bollinger Bands are 2 standard deviations of a 20-bar moving average. And in general, it's an exhaustion level.
Right.
And there's a lot more nuance to standard deviation trading than just looking at that exhaustion level. I use momentum on a different set of protocol or inputs in standard deviation analysis, and lots of other people do. I'm no genius on it.
Right.
And then there's nuance around the slope of the bands. Are they expanding? Are they collapsing? Are they sideways? For added confusion, mostly in your trading regimen. And I think that's the art of trading, is to wade through the confusion. And by the way, that's fundamental and technically based and profile based.
Hey, Bob, a little update. We talked earlier in the week about AMC, how it was in play again. And it did, we were talking about it in the 14s. It did have one little pre-market spike again yesterday, and that was the end. And
Chance the Rapper, right?
Yeah. So it didn't take long, 2 days, and it's already given up, 12%. From here, from 16, it's given up, $4. So there it's given about 25%. So again, be wary of pump jobs, and especially on shit that's been flying around before. This isn't a brand new pump job. So again, I'll say it again, it's like these things had their day in the sand here, and these charts aren't that pretty to me. And again, this is just a daily chart, but you saw this when everything was going crazy with Penn Gaming, etc., GME, or GameStop,
exactly.
The whole thing, and again, we're just kind of testing water again. And to me, this thing looks like, again, it's a fucking movie theater. I don't think movies are going to be as successful as they have been in the past due to this pandemic. It'll take, you want to see flatline. I think you'll see flatline for years, even if we can get back to levels of movie going that we saw pre-pandemic. And I don't think we're by any means out of the woods when it comes to this pandemic stuff.
You know what, Matt? I couldn't
Matter
agree.
of fact, why don't you bring up those two? You know,
Wait a second, let me finish my thought on AMC, because my thought process had been evolving over the past decade, right? I had the in-home theater system. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And there were very, very, very few movies that I would go to the theater to see. Like, it had to be a very specific movie, either, you know, a war picture where the cinematography absolutely makes the movie.
Yep.
So many movies are just stories, right? You don't need to be on a 90 whatever surround sound Cinemax, you know. I like the movie what was it? Kentucky Fried Movie. You ever remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
Where the movie was in Feel Around.
Yeah.
And so there was the fight scene and the guy comes up to you and actually punches you in your seat. This one brought to you by Feel Around.
Yeah.
Man, let me jump back to Penn Gaming and beat up on Dave Portnoy a little bit more here, and to plead with Kanye to bank that generational wealth in gap stock. This is what I'm talking about, the nuance of that standard deviation trading. These bands on the 3-day are falling away potentiality. And believe me, it fought, right? And he fought all in here, right, as it was rounding, and these bands hadn't rounded yet. And since they've rounded and fully rounded, now respecting the momentum level and just continuing to fall away. And there you go. That's the nuance on it. Penn Gaming, see ya. Now that collar comes in it, that Bollinger, 63.53 in this 3-day. But after this 3-day, ends, there's going to be another 3-day, right? And the right side of the parabola, it's the word of the day. Parabola today is our drinking game. Maybe we should do that, Matt. Maybe going forward, we should pen a name pre-episode on what the drink word is. Parabola was today.
We have pregame.
What other ones did you want me to bring up?
No, I think that's good. Again, the parabola. I mean, you could bring up SpaceX. You could bring up, or not SpaceX, but Galactic, SPCE. That's been, that's another good one that you can talk about.
Space.
Peloton's
Nobody's going. Look at this. I mean, it fully round tripped it. Not quite. We got to get back down to $11. But that, this one is perfectly symmetrical too, by the way. This rocket ship up, and then the Tesla rocket right back to the ground. A little blip back up. Couldn't really hold it. Yeah, nobody's going to Mars. I'll say it again. Nobody's going ever.
Well, the Chinese might be.
All right, Matt. Please retweet. Don't like the broadcast. I don't give a shit about likes. Retweet it. Spread the word. Join us at marketvitals.io. I'll make this promise. I promise this. My word is my bond as a former Chicago mercantile exchange broker. Put the market on fast to protect me, first of all. Secondly, I will never piss down your back and tell you it's raining, especially when it comes around risk and reward and what the chart is telling me. You don't need you don't need it. You don't need somebody to congratulate you on your great trading idea. You need somebody to challenge you on your trading ideas. And that's the key to long-term survivability. Success. And are we in a crypto winter? Well, let me just tell you something. I don't know that, but I know we just got 15 inches of snow on October 3rd. And maybe winter is October till June this year in crypto.
Bob, I got a question for you. Any thoughts on your esteemed mayor and she only,
I got plenty of thoughts. If you can't see the flaw in if this is critical race theory, I mean, it's just racism. That's all it is too. I will only give one-on-one interviews to black or brown colored of skin color, their skin color people. Mm-hmm. And my first thought when I heard about it, Matt, was, you know what, Kermit, I'm sorry. I know you're a good journalist and you like to ask questions. You like to figure stuff out. But you and Miss Piggy, you can't interview her because you're not black or brown. You're green and pink, and those two colors are not black and brown.
They're
right?
they're not in the rainbow, except if you're LGBTQF.
Anyway, Kermit currently looking to get bronzed in order to effect an interview with Mayor Lightfoot.
10:36. We got 2.5 hours left in the trading day. Wednesday, definitely Wednesday, not Thursday, definitely not Friday. It's Wednesday, as you like to say, Bob. And we are, the bonds. Here's the thing: the bonds rolled over the last almost 2 hours hard, from almost 157.25 down here to 156.13 as we speak. That's going to lead the rest of the market down. Watch your P's and Q's. The S&P is going down. It's already down 10 since we started the show. The NASDAQ has rolled over 50 points. And the Russells also have rolled over about 8. So be careful here. I don't see a coast-to-coast trend day. Matter of fact, it's showing a possible chink or a break in the armor here into the last 2.5 hours.
You can't say chink anymore.
Oh, right. Even though it's a chain link and it's a chink.
Can't say it.
Can't say it.
Can't say it. We got in both
I
of our
wasn't talking about food.
We have long lists of words that we can't say. Long lists.
Can I say honky cold Medina? That's like a
Matt, by the way, Matt shared today an artist with us. Is the artist's name Pony? No, Orville Peck. The album is Pony.
Yeah.
Out in 2019. I got to tell you, check him out on Spotify. Orville Peck. The album is Pony. Man, is it awesome. And again, Matt, for me, music, along with my ability to be sarcastic and change lyrics, one of my favorite pastimes. It's the one thing that truly gives me hope is there's still incredibly creative, awesome musical talent out there. And I got to tell you, the thing that I think the internet has done was made way more people able to whether or not they can make a living at it or not. There's just so much incredible musical talent out there. And it's just awesome to be re-inspired by artists on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, this Orville Peck is you can find him on Twitter too if you're interested. So just look for him. But his account has been suspended. I just went to, and apparently it's been suspended, so I won't give it to you. Anyways.
Nuance, Matt. Nuance. Maybe he used a word he wasn't supposed to use.
Maybe he was talking too much about C19. I don't know. I don't know what was going on.
I don't know either. All right, pal. You have a great day.
Thank you, Bob. Another great show. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and then we will be off Friday, Monday.
Right on.
All right, man. See you.
All right, pal.